After chasing the hottest guy on campus for half a year, I found out he was straight. The moment I heard him reject another guy's confession, I decided to give up and keep my distance. But I never expected him to be a witch. The curse he put inside me controls my senses. Whenever he wants, he can make me suffer in agony. I cried and begged him to let me go, but his usual cold demeanor was gone, replaced by a dark, chilling look in his eyes. "Jackson," he said, "I just want you back by my side." At 9 o'clock, I showed up at Lucas's birthday party dressed in a custom-tailored black suit. Lucas's family was a big deal in the capital. Even for a simple birthday party like this, there was no shortage of people trying to suck up to him. I clutched the small box in my hand and followed my roommates into the villa, so nervous I could barely walk straight. When he saw us walk in, Lucas, who was standing in the middle of a crowd, gave us a slight nod as a greeting. He was a cold person. Everyone at school called him an iceberg. Even though he was undeniably the campus prince, he gave off a vibe that was hard to get close to, so no one dared to get too friendly with him. I secretly sized him up, thinking how incredibly charming he looked tonight, like a prince straight out of a childhood storybook. He deserved all the spotlight. My roommate, Ethan, patted my shoulder. "Don't be nervous, Jackson. You can do this." I thanked him for the encouragement. Spotting Lucas finally break away from the crowd and head for the second-floor hallway alone, I made an excuse about needing the restroom and quickly followed him. Lucas was always alert. As he reached a corner, he suddenly stopped. "Come on out." I froze, instinctively about to step out, but then I saw another guy walk out from the opposite side. His face flushed as he approached Lucas. Lucas, the guy was short, the type that easily makes you want to protect him. He held out a beautifully wrapped gift box. "Happy birthday. I like you." I never thought someone would beat me to the punch. I froze for a second, my grip tightening on the small box in my hand. It was the watch I bought for Lucas. My name is Jackson, and this watch had a unique second hand. It was almost like I was giving myself to him. But in that moment, I was suddenly glad I hadn't given the gift to Lucas yet, because in the next instant, I heard Lucas reject the guy. "Sorry, I'm not gay. He's straight. He's actually straight. How could he be straight?" Couldn't wrap my head around it. The other guy couldn't either. Rejected, he wasn't ready to give up. That's just an excuse, isn't it? "Lucas, everyone knows you and that Jackson kid are joined at the hip. You go everywhere together. Even if you don't like me, you don't have to use an excuse like that." Lucas's expressionless face turned even colder, as if he was annoyed. His tone dropped. "Sorry, I don't know what gave you that impression, but I am straight." And he paused, looking at the guy in front of him, his eyes filled with undisguised disgust. "I can't stand gay people." The guy's face instantly turned pale. He took his gift and left in shame. Suddenly, I felt a hole tear through my heart, an unexpected, sharp pain. He said he couldn't stand gay people. But I, a gay person, had liked him for so long, chasing him relentlessly for over half a year. If Lucas found out I was gay too, would he look at me with that same expression, speak to me in that same tone, and say those same words all over again? I couldn't bear to think about it. I grabbed my gift, ready to leave, but when I turned around, I saw Lucas. "Jackson," Lucas looked at me. "What are you doing here?" I shoved the box into my jacket pocket, my face ashen as I made an excuse. "I'm lost. I can't find the bathroom. I'll take you." Lucas raised his arm to put it on my shoulder, but remembering the cold look he gave the other guy, I instinctively dodged him. Lucas froze, his handsome face instantly turning ugly. "Why won't you let me touch you?" I looked at him, stunned. So I didn't let him put his arm around my shoulder. Was that really a reason to get angry? Overwhelmed by negativity, I had no desire to keep being a simp. I just wanted to find a quiet place to be alone. No reason. Lucas stared at me. "Are you throwing a tantrum?" "Me? Throwing a tantrum? What tantrum? What right did I have to throw a tantrum?" I wanted to defend myself, but then I thought it was pointless. As I debated whether or to tell him I was gay, Lucas was called away by the butler. He was the man of the hour. He didn't have much free time. After going downstairs, Ethan came over with a smile. "So, Were you successful? I shook my head and downed a glass of wine from the table. Someone else confessed to him. He said he can't stand gay people. Ethan's smile froze on his face. How could that be? Yeah, how could it be? Everyone knew Lucas and I were the closest. If he was an iceberg, I was the sun that could melt him. When we were freshmen, he barely said 3 words to anyone, like a walking refrigerator that scared people off. But as his roommate, I was always dragging him into video games, messing up his sleep schedule, and sometimes I'd just crash on his bed and refuse to leave, insisting on sleeping with him. For someone with such bad aversion to dirtiness, he never seemed to mind me. Sometimes he'd even ask me to stay the night in his bed, not complaining about it being crowded at all. That's why I thought what we had was mutual. But that scene upstairs made me realize I'd been overthinking it all along. Well, I thought with a sense of relief, at least someone confessed to Lucas before I did. Otherwise, I would have been the one getting rejected. Getting rejected isn't that scary. But his words were just too vicious. My fragile heart couldn't take it. I was gloomy for the rest of the party. A few other roommates asked if I was in a bad mood. I didn't deny it, and they took turns trying to comfort me. As I was leaving with the crowd, Lucas suddenly walked over and grabbed my wrist. "Jackson, you're staying over and sleeping with me tonight." Look how casually he said it. I tried to pull my hand away, but it wouldn't budge. Lucas was just too strong. "I've had a bit too much to drink," I said, trying to stay calm. "Lucas, you're so busy you won't have time to look after me. I should just go back to the dorm." Lucas wouldn't let go. "And someone will look after you if you go back to the dorm? Ethan will take care of me." It's not like he was my only friend. Ethan. For some reason, Lucas's face got even darker. "Jackson, be good. Stay here. I'll take care of you." He always told me to be good. In the 6 months I'd known him, those were the 2 words I heard most from him. Whenever we disagreed or if I didn't do what he asked, he'd tell me to be good in a forceful tone. I used to think of it as a fun little quirk between us. But now, I knew it was just his unhealthy possessiveness acting up. "Lucas, I don't want to sleep with you." If I didn't know he hated gay people, I would have stayed without a second thought. But now that I knew, I couldn't just pretend nothing had happened. I was afraid that if Lucas found out I was gay, he'd remember all the moments we'd shared and feel disgusted. Lucas's brow furrowed, clearly unhappy with my resistance. "Fine, you don't have to sleep here. Where's the gift?" "The gift? After what happened, how could I possibly give it to him?" Faced with Lucas's expectant gaze, I could only offer him an apologetic smile. "Sorry, Lucas. I'll just Venmo you some money. You have everything, I really didn't know what to get you." The hand gripping my wrist tightened, and I hissed in pain. Only then did he let go. His sharp eyes fell on my bulging jacket pocket. "What's in your pocket?" I didn't want him to know I'd gotten him a gift, so I lied. "Ethan just gave it to me." As soon as I said it, Lucas suddenly reached out and took the box. "Why would he give you a gift for no reason?" Lucas opened the box and saw the watch inside. He froze for a moment, then his face turned livid. "Jackson, why did he give you this? What is he trying to say?" I guessed he was rattled by the guy who confessed to him, so now he saw everyone as gay. I didn't plan on letting Ethan take the fall for me. I snatched the box back. "It's none of your business." Then I walked away without looking back. Lucas and I had a falling out. Nobody knew why, not even Lucas himself. After that night, he never spoke to me again, and I had no intention of talking to him either. Thinking back, every time we fought, I was always the one to cave first. Except for Ethan, the other roommates were just watching the show, waiting to see when I'd admit I was wrong and make up with Lucas. But they watched for a week and I never caved. Chris was very confused. "Jackson, you and Lucas are so tight. Why is this fight lasting so long?" "We're not fighting," I said coolly. "And we're not that tight." Chris's eyes widened in surprise, staring at me like I was some kind of monster. The next day, Lucas cornered me in the gym's locker room, pinning me against the lockers. "If we're not tight, why did you used to bring me breakfast?" I met his gaze and stated a fact. "I've brought Ethan breakfast too." "You didn't just bring me breakfast, you used my body wash," he said, pressing on, as if trying to find something that made him different from Ethan in my eyes. But I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction. I've used Ethan's body wash too. But you've slept in my bed. I've slept in Ethan's bed too. Sorry, Ethan, I have to spread rumors about you right now. I don't know if it was my imagination, but the air around us grew much colder. Lucas looked down at me, and just when I thought he was going to lose his temper, he suddenly asked with a serious expression, "Jackson, what did I do wrong?" "You didn't do anything wrong." I pushed him away and turned my face. "We just shouldn't have become friends in the first place." It was me who didn't understand the situation and chased after him relentlessly. Although I didn't know why Lucas could tolerate my repeated boundary-crossing behavior, in the end, I had completely misread the signals between us. Shouldn't have? Lucas couldn't hold it in any longer and grabbed my shoulders forcefully. "You've been giving me the cold shoulder for this long. You have to at least tell me why." "Because I'm gay." I looked straight into his eyes, like a cornered animal, no longer caring what he would think of me. I just wanted to end this all. Lucas's pupils contracted, clearly not having considered this possibility. His hands slid off my shoulders, and he took a step back, a look of disbelief on his face. My heart felt empty. His reaction was much better than I had imagined, but it still hurt me. Is being gay that disgusting to him? Fine. Since he couldn't accept it, he probably wouldn't bother me anymore. I'd liked him for so long. Now that I knew there was no future, I shouldn't force it. Lucas took a long leave of absence. It seemed my identity had really hit him hard. While Lucas was away, I became visibly withdrawn. Ethan couldn't stand it anymore and put his arm around my shoulder. "You can't change your sexuality. Don't be too sad about it. The world is full of guys, we can't get hung up on one person, right?" I understood the logic, but I just couldn't be as carefree as before. I had liked Lucas for too long. Chasing him had almost become an instinct. Seeing my bad state, Ethan took me to a bar to drown my sorrows. As I drank until I lost consciousness, I felt like a total failure. So what if I fell for a homophobic straight guy? What was there to be so sad about? Bye-bye, on to the next one. When I got back to school, I adjusted my mindset and threw all my energy into my studies. In my free time, I'd play video games with Ethan. He was terrible at games. One afternoon, when neither of us had class, I lost my temper while we were playing. "Ethan, can't you be a little more nimble with your fingers?" "What do you mean, not nimble?" "Come here. I'll teach you." Ethan got onto my bed, and I wrapped myself around him from behind, gripping his fingers to press the game controls. Just then, the dorm room door was pushed open from the outside. Lucas, who had been gone for a while, appeared in the doorway. He stared at me and Ethan with cold eyes. "What are you two doing?" Ethan sensed the tense atmosphere and immediately got off the bed. "We were just playing a game." I turned my head away, not wanting to deal with him. Why was he reacting so strongly? Just because I'm gay? Does that mean I can't even have normal fun with my friends under his watch? Since when does he get a say? The first night Lucas was back in the dorm, I had insomnia again. He, on the other hand, seemed no different than before, going about his daily routine as usual, not at all dejected like me. I was the only one stuck in place. I thought I should probably move on too. For the next while, I deliberately avoided Lucas, trying my best not to run into him. In the dorm, I was either playing games with Ethan or studying at my desk. I had no more interaction with Lucas. One Saturday, the other roommates had all gone home, leaving just Lucas and me in the dorm. After a peaceful morning, I picked up my phone, planning to go out for lunch. The atmosphere in the dorm was too suffocating, it was hard to breathe. Just as I turned the doorknob, Lucas, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly asked, "Jackson, the person you like, is it Ethan?" I frowned. "Why do you care so much about who I like?" Lucas sat on the top bunk, looking down at me, his expression somewhat gloomy. "Being gay isn't well received. If you're willing to change, I can help you." I turned my head in disbelief and met his gaze. Lucas's eyes were dark, his face serious, not looking like he was joking at all. He was serious. I didn't understand. I had already distanced myself from him, so why was he still so concerned? Could it be that Lucas was afraid I would develop feelings for him, which is why he wanted to confirm who I actually liked? I laughed out of anger. "Lucas, Who do you think you are, lecturing me about my sexuality? I was afraid Lucas would say something even more hurtful, so I cut him off immediately. Yeah, that's right. I like Ethan, so I'll never bother you again. Can you relax now? If I told him I liked someone else, he wouldn't focus all his attention on me anymore. Right? To make Lucas believe me, I became even clingier with Ethan after that. Lucas tried to talk to me alone several times, but I refused. I didn't think there was anything for us to talk about, and I didn't want to hear any more hurtful words from him. Just before winter break, strange things started to happen. Every time I was with Ethan, I felt a pair of hands touching me. The feeling of those hands was very familiar, as if Lucas was controlling my body. But in reality, those hands didn't exist. I could feel them, but I couldn't see them. Ethan, let's play some games. Okay. I sat on Ethan's bed. We had just started a game when Lucas came back from outside. His eyes were cold. I didn't dare to look too long, focusing all my attention on the game. Before long, those hands appeared again, their warm, dry palms seemingly pressed against my waist, stirring up trouble everywhere. I couldn't take it and tensed my back, quickly closing the game and lying back on the bed, feeling weak. Ethan saw that something was wrong and quickly put down his phone. Jackson, what's wrong? Nothing. I forced myself back to my own bed and gave Ethan a tired smile. Maybe I'm just too tired. Then get some rest. Late at night, the sheets on Ethan's bed got wet by accident, and he asked to share my bed for the night. I agreed. After Ethan fell asleep, I felt bugs crawling inside my body. Their presence was so strong it made my whole body itch. The sensation didn't disappear until morning. I was drenched in sweat, my face an unnatural shade of red, and I rushed to take a shower first thing. Just as I managed to clear my head a bit and open the bathroom door, a force pushed me back in by the shoulders. Lucas squeezed in and locked the door again. Jackson, I want to talk. What is there for us to talk about? I suddenly felt exhausted. This whole situation was pointless. We couldn't make a clean break. I had already stopped chasing him, but he wouldn't let me go. Lucas let go of me, his voice softening as he asked tentatively, "Can we go back to how we were before?" I looked at him in surprise. Since you hate gay people, why don't you stay away from me?" Lucas had such a powerful background. If he really hated me, he could have moved out or used his connections to have me transferred. There was no need to keep living under the same roof, seeing each other every day. Wouldn't a guy who hates gay people so much find that annoying? I care about you a lot, Lucas said. Growing up, very few people have been as persistent as you, willing to get close to me and be my friend no matter how cold I was. The way he described me sounded so much like a simp. Okay, I admit I was his simp before, but not anymore. I sighed. Sorry, even if you can't bear it, we can't go back to the past. After all, my intentions were never pure from the beginning. Even if he didn't mind that I was gay, I couldn't continue to be just friends with him. The closer I got to him, the more I couldn't resist his charm. A clean break sooner was better for both of us. Why? Lucas's brow immediately furrowed. Is it because of Ethan? I hesitated, unsure if I should let him continue to misunderstand. Seeing my lack of response, Lucas took it as confirmation. Jackson, what's so great about Ethan? Lucas, like a predator that had been lying in wait, finally showed his fangs. Come back to me. Otherwise, I can't be sure what I'll do to you. What do you mean? I felt a strange sense of dread. For a moment, I connected the weird things that had been happening to me recently with the man in front of me, but then I told myself it was impossible. But Lucas had a knack for shattering my illusions. You've been feeling strange lately, haven't you? The hands that appear out of nowhere, touching you but you can't see them, the bugs crawling inside your body. Before he could finish, my eyes widened in horror. You did all of this, Lucas admitted with a smile. Jackson, I put a curse on you, so you'd better not make me angry. Be a good boy and come back to me. Otherwise, I will make you suffer in agony. I never thought Lucas could cast spells, let alone that he would cast one on me specifically. For a moment, I felt like the Lucas in front of me was a completely different person. Why? I didn't get it. Lucas, so what if I come back to you? We can never go back to the way we were. Why would you use such a despicable method to control me? Despicable? I don't think so. Lucas reached out and touched my face. If I didn't do this, I would have to watch you walk away from me. I tried to reason with Lucas, but his logic was completely tyrannical and made no sense at all. In a fit of anger, I slapped his hand away. It's just one little curse. Don't think you can control me with this. When I said that, I truly believed that no one on earth could force me to do anything against my will. But soon, I found myself bowing my head to Lucas. He really could control me. During class, while everyone was listening attentively, I felt as if those invisible hands were groping me all over. Ethan turned around and saw the moisture in the corners of my eyes, thinking I was crying. Jackson, what's wrong? I gritted my teeth, enduring the strange, provocative sensation. Nothing. On the way back to the dorm, a sudden ache shot through my lower back, causing it to throb without warning. The pain wasn't sharp, but it was strange and incredibly difficult to bear. I collapsed to the ground, drawing many curious stares. I looked pathetic, and I didn't want anyone to see me like this, so I could only endure it alone. Just then, Lucas walked up to me with a calm expression and offered me a hand. Jackson, do you want me to help you back to the dorm? I knew he was giving me a choice. Either I bow my head, compromise, and do as he wishes, or I ignore the probing glances and continue to bear his escalating torment through gritted teeth. I lifted my eyes, glaring fiercely at Lucas, but I gave him my hand. Lucas smiled, pleased, seemingly satisfied with my sensible choice, and helped me up from the ground. The discomfort in my back lessened considerably, but I couldn't break free from Lucas's grip at all and could only let him lead me by the hand. The people in the dorm were surprised to see Lucas and me walk in holding hands. Ethan, in particular, gave me a look as soon as I sat down, as if to ask, "What's the situation now?" I couldn't answer him, so I just pretended not to see. That night, after a quick shower and drying my hair, I saw Lucas sitting on his top bunk, looking down at me. Jackson, you're sleeping with me tonight. If this were the old days, his invitation would have made me ecstatic. But now all I felt was resistance. No, I refused without a second thought. I thought Lucas would get angry, but he didn't. He even smiled, seeming to be in a good mood. The next second, he climbed down from his bunk. Then I'll sleep with you. Is there a difference? No, I said, looking at him with a cold face. This bed is too small for two people. Lucas had already settled into the side of the bed against the wall. But we used to sleep like this all the time. You never said it was crowded then. I stood my ground until a wave of itchiness spread through my body, reminding me of the curse. Lucas stared at me stubbornly, as if he would use every trick in the book to make me submit if I didn't give in. Unable to withstand the power of the curse, I finally got into bed. The moment I lay down, Lucas pressed close, pulling me into his arms and not letting me move away. Someone turned off the dorm lights, and I lowered my voice to question him. Lucas, are you really homophobic? Do you have any idea that you're acting more gay than I am right now? Lucas froze for a moment. I just feel at peace like this. Under Lucas's threats, I became his marionette. If he told me to go east, I wouldn't dare go west. Every time I saw Lucas smile, I wanted to punch him. What kind of tyrannical straight guy acts like this? Ethan tried to get close to me several times but never found the chance. Lucas became extremely clingy. Whenever we were in the dorm, he had to sleep in the same bed with me, controlled my 3 meals a day, and forbade me from approaching Ethan. He seemed to have a huge problem with Ethan. Everyone who knew us thought we were back to how we used to be. Only I knew that our relationship hadn't progressed at all. Even though Lucas talked more, I still wasn't very willing to engage with him. Lucas never lost his temper with me, but there were exceptions. The day before winter break, I packed my bags and bought the earliest train ticket, wanting to get away from Lucas. Lucas saw through my plan, furiously kicking my suitcase aside, no longer able to maintain his gentle facade. He pinned me to the bed and once again used his curse. It felt like a million insects were crawling inside my body, but the itchiest spot was, I felt utterly humiliated. Was he trying to shame me? Compared to me, who was drowning in a sea of emotion, Lucas looked cold and detached, as if he hadn't had a single improper thought. Even after everything I'd been through, I hadn't felt this wronged. But at this moment, a deep sense of powerlessness washed over me, and tears quickly blurred my vision. "Lucas," I sobbed, completely broken. "Please let me go." Lucas's usual cold expression was gone, replaced by a dark, chilling gaze. "Jackson, I just want you back by my side." "We can't go back," I cried out helplessly. "Lucas, listen to me, the person I like is you. We can't go back to how we were. I can't be just ordinary friends with you." Lucas stared at me in shock. The strange sensation finally stopped, but my crying only grew more intense. I had kept this secret until now precisely because I was afraid he would despise me and cut ties with me completely. Even if we couldn't be friends, I hoped to leave him with the best possible impression, so that years later when he remembered me, he wouldn't only feel disgust. But now I couldn't take it anymore. Why should I have to suffer such torment while he acted so high and mighty, so untouchable, doing whatever he wanted to me just because he knew how to cast spells? After regaining my strength, I pushed him away and got off the bed. At this point, whether he found me disgusting or annoying, as long as he could tone down his craziness and stop controlling me with the curse, I was fine with anything. But the scene I had imagined didn't happen. Lucas's gaze became dazed. When he saw me turn my body, he immediately hugged me tightly. "Don't go." I was a bit puzzled. Don't you hate gay people?" "I'm gay, and I like you. Don't you find me disgusting?" Lucas shook his head, resting his chin on my shoulder. "I think I'm a little happy." "Huh? What was he so happy about?" Lucas wrapped his arms tightly around my waist, as if trying to merge with me. "When you said you liked me, I didn't feel disgusted, and I wasn't repulsed. On the contrary, I felt very satisfied." Realizing something, I quickly turned my head, my mind suddenly going blank. "So, you like me too? Like you?" Lucas blinked. "I've never liked anyone before, so I don't know what it feels like to like someone. But if the person is you, I only feel pleasure." I raised an eyebrow. "When did I say I wanted to be your boyfriend? He controlled me with a curse for days and still expects me to date him? He's dreaming. You like me?" He opened his eyes wide, staring at me seriously. His brow furrowed in frustration as his hands held me even tighter. I didn't struggle, just stayed in that position and tried to reason with him. "You're right, I like you, but don't you think what you did was way out of line? We both liked each other, but he turned it into a forced love drama. He was something else." Lucas met my gaze for a moment, then looked down and said very readily, "I'm sorry." He sure apologized quickly. "But I wasn't that lovesick. Lucas, even though I like you, that doesn't mean I have to be with you. I don't owe you anything, you get it?" Lucas pressed his lips together, looking very unhappy. "Then what will it take for you to be with me?" He was certainly persistent, but unfortunately, I didn't believe a straight guy could suddenly turn gay. "If you want to be with me, you can try to win me over. But you can't curse me. That just makes me resent you." I thought that by saying this, he would immediately lift the curse. But Lucas always managed to say something shocking. "I can teach you the curse. You can put one on me too. Then we'll be even, right? Who wants to be even with you?" "No, wait. Why would I put a curse on you? What's so great about learning this kind of witchcraft? Does he think I'm an idiot and can't see that he's trying to tie me to him for life? If I really put a curse on him, then for the rest of our lives, we could only torment each other and be mutually constrained." I wanted Lucas to back off, but instead, he began to pursue me. During winter break, he followed me back to my hometown. Even when I gave him the cold shoulder, he would stick close, hugging and holding me from time to time, and even caress my lips a few times. I pushed him away sternly. "Lucas, I haven't agreed to be with you yet. This is harassment." Lucas was very frustrated, unable to argue, and could only stare at me with those dark, gloomy eyes. He actually looked a little hurt, but I was merciless. I wanted to see how long Lucas could keep this up. I had already told my parents about my sexuality after I finished my college entrance exams. They didn't accept it at first, but after I knelt in front of their door for a long time, they finally chose to accept reality. When they saw me bring a guy home, my dad's face stiffened, but my mom's face lit up with a smile as she pulled Lucas inside. Lucas usually hated socializing, and my mom could be very persistent, pulling him aside and asking all sorts of questions. I didn't help him out, I just stood by and watched silently. Who knew this guy was like an actor? His expression changed in an instant, and he charmed my mom so much that she was dazed and delighted. And here I thought my mom could give him a hard time. After dinner, Lucas showed no signs of leaving. My mom proactively invited him to stay. It's getting late, you should just stay the night. You can hang out here for a while during the break. Lucas smiled and said okay. We don't have a spare room, so you'll have to squeeze in with Jackson. My dad's face instantly grew darker, and he looked at me as if I were a disappointment of a son. My eye twitched. He can sleep on the sofa. My mom shot me a glare. He's a guest. How can you make a guest sleep on the sofa? Besides, he's so tall, the sofa wouldn't be comfortable. Seeing that I couldn't reason with my mom, I turned to look at Lucas, hoping he would take the hint and leave on his own. But Lucas acted as if he couldn't understand my meaning and said to my mom with a smile, "Don't worry, ma'am. Jackson and I sleep in the same bed in the dorm too. We're used to it." In my peripheral vision, my dad's face got even blacker. Someone, please poison him so he can't talk. Hearing Lucas say that, my mom's smile grew wider, and she gave me a very meaningful look. I felt like I was on pins and needles and quickly went back to my room to rest. Sleeping in the same bed with Lucas every day for this long, I had practically become immune to it. But Lucas would always get excited over this small thing. "Don't hold me so tight." I pushed against his chest as he leaned in. "It's hot." Lucas refused to let go. "We can turn down the AC." I was used to Lucas's clinginess. "Were you really straight before?" I asked, bewildered. "I don't feel like you were." Lucas was silent for a moment before saying, "My emotions only became richer after I met you. So, strictly speaking, I couldn't be considered straight before since I wasn't interested in anyone." I asked suspiciously, "Then why did you hate gay people?" This time, Lucas was silent for even longer, seeming very reluctant to let me know the reason. Just as I was about to doze off, he suddenly spoke. "In my senior year of high school, a gay guy cornered me in the bathroom. Even though he only touched my hand, it still disgusted me." I woke up, starting to understand his feelings. "You weren't hurt, were you?" No, Lucas's voice was cold. I had rejected him many times. He tried to force himself on me, but he couldn't beat me in a fight. I breathed a sigh of relief, feeling grateful. It was a good thing Lucas was a good fighter. If that guy had succeeded, he probably would have been left with psychological trauma. I finally understood why he hated gay people. It wasn't really about homosexuality itself. It was just that the person who tried to assault him happened to be a man, so Lucas came to hate the entire gay community by association. No wonder he didn't have many friends. "Have you ever thought about it?" I asked him. "If I didn't like you, what you did to me with the curse, how is that any different from the guy who cornered you in the bathroom?" Lucas's hand on my waist tightened instantly. "I'm sorry, Jackson. I really know I was wrong." His voice was muffled, his breath fanning against my ear, making it feel a little itchy. When I didn't say anything, Lucas continued, "Jackson, I won't ever force you to do anything again. Can you give me a chance to pursue you?" I closed my eyes, a slight smile playing on my lips. "It's not like I said you couldn't." Lucas excitedly propped himself up and kissed the corner of my eye. "Thank you, Jackson." I hummed. "Thank me for what?" Lucas lowered his head again to kiss my lips. "Thank you for being willing to love me." Even though I agreed to let Lucas pursue me, I never officially said yes. With our relationship undefined, Lucas was anxious every day. He was always afraid I would change my mind and truly leave him. After school started, we went back to campus together. Before we even got to our dorm, we ran into the guy who had confessed to him before. Seeing us appear together again as a pair, a flash of resentment crossed the guy's eyes. He stood in our way and said, "Lucas, don't you hate gay people? He's gay too, don't you hate him?" I wasn't angry. Instead, I mimicked his tone to tease Lucas. "Yeah, Lucas, don't you hate gay people? How come you're with me every day?" Lucas gave the guy a cold glare, then turned to me with a helpless expression. Jackson, don't hold a grudge. I do hate the idea of being gay, but I don't hate you. To me, you're my whole world. I understood what he meant. In his eyes, loving me had nothing to do with me being gay. He just loved me as a person. Even if I were a girl, he would have fallen for me. No matter what I became, he would only ever love me. The guy's face changed. You too? Lucas ignored him and took the luggage from my hands. You must be tired. I'll carry the bags. You go back to the dorm and rest. I didn't argue. Okay. I walked past the guy, comfortably enjoying Lucas's care, and went into the dorm first. Ethan watched Lucas busily hauling luggage for both of us and finally found a chance to pull me aside. Are you two together? Almost. Ethan was a little surprised. No way. It's been this long and you two aren't official yet? He's so protective of you. Before winter break, someone was targeting you, spreading subtle rumors that you had a messy reputation and had a ton of boyfriends. When Lucas found out, he immediately took care of the person. All the rumors about you disappeared overnight. That was news to me. Lucas had never mentioned it. After moving the luggage, Lucas saw me standing with Ethan and was clearly annoyed. He sat on his bed and coughed a few times. I deliberately ignored him, and sure enough, he quickly became agitated. His eyes tinged with hostility as he looked at Ethan, but he didn't dare do anything. I walked over, amused, and pulled him downstairs for a walk. I told him what Ethan had told me. Back then, why didn't you tell me? If I remembered correctly, he was controlling me with the curse at that time but didn't do anything excessive. For a few days, he was extremely irritable, seeming to be annoyed by everyone, but he never took it out on me. At the time, I just thought I had done something to displease him, but now it seemed my understanding was completely different from the truth. Lucas stopped and looked at me seriously. There was nothing to say. I already solved the problem, and I didn't want you to be in a bad mood because of something so unimportant. He didn't want me to be unhappy, but he himself had been angry about it for a long time. I stared at him, stunned, then took out the small box I had put in my pocket earlier and decided to tell him the truth. This watch was actually the birthday gift I bought for you. I was going to confess to you, but then I saw you reject that guy and lost my courage. Lucas stood there stunned for a long moment, then suddenly pulled me into his arms, his breath becoming ragged. Jackson, thank you. He whispered in my ear again. Thank you for being willing to love me. I took the initiative and kissed his lips. Congratulations, you've got yourself a boyfriend. Lucas held the back of my neck, quickly taking control of the kiss. The sun behind him was bright and splendid, its warm glow shining down on him, and I finally held my favorite ray of light in my arms.